A very good evening, Zimbabwe. This is Studio 7 Live Talk this Thursday, January the 27th, 2022. I am your host, Sithandekile Mhlanga.
And I'm Marvellous Mhlanga Nyahuye, broadcasting from my home in Washington, D.C. due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, and today, Marvellous will be looking at a variety of issues, including political developments in Zimbabwe. But before we do so, a quick look at the COVID-19 statistics, with the government saying that the COVID-19 infections are decreasing. And so far, up to date, Zimbabwe had more than 228,000 confirmed cases, which include recoveries and some deaths there. We have more than 215,000 recoveries and more than 5,000 deaths since the COVID-19 pandemic started in the year 2020 on March.
Yes, and taking a look at the current vaccination program in the country, Zimbabwe has, to date vaccinated over 4 million people, although their target is to vaccinate 10 million people for the country to reach herd immunity. So the vaccination program is still ongoing, with the government urging those that have not been vaccinated to go ahead and get vaccinated. And we've also seen city councils like in Bulawayo and also some parts of Harare going out door to door to offer vaccinations to those that have not already been vaccinated against COVID-19.
Yes, and would also look at the by-elections, preparations for by-elections, which are scheduled for March. We see that the nomination courts have already set, so political parties have registered their candidates who are expected to contest in the oncoming, elections, to replace some people who left their vacancies due to a number of issues. You remember, some were recalls, some were deaths, and so forth. But before we go ahead, just a quick look of what was happening at the nomination court. Well, unfortunately, we can't see that one clearly. Marvellous. We'll come back to that to see what other people were doing there at the nomination court. But before we look at those videos, we're excited that we'll be having our experts here in various issues, politics and human rights. We have Barbara Tanyanyiwa of the Women's Assembly. We can't say MDC Alliance now, it has changed to new names. And we also have Sekai, Holland, senator, former senator. So we'll be having them here explain a variety of issues. But before we go there, Marvellous, kulabo abasanda ukusixhuma lamhlanje uhlelo lwethu siyabe sikhangela ke okuchiyeneyo, sikhangela ke okuphathelane leze politiki. Sibona ukuthi abantu abade befuna ukuncintisa bahlalile lamuhla, bahlalile ke ngathi bona sebengenisile amabizo abo edale le nomination court. So kwenzakele ke lokho, njalo sibonile ukuthi abanye sebengenile, abanye njalo singaza sisabona ukuthi abehlulekileyo bona kungobani. Kodwa ke benelisile kungena ke abanye abakhangelelwe kakhulu. Liqembu elikhokhelwa ngumnumzana Douglas Monzora, liqembu elikhokhelwa ngumnumzana Nelson Chamisa, bakhokhelwa ke sibonile ke ebekhokhelwa unkosazana Thokozani Khuphe besithi abasoze benelise ukungena ngoba baphangisile basanda ukuqhamuka kwelinye iqembu, ngakho ke abazuzanga isikhathi eseneleyo sokuthi bebhalise. Kodwa singafiki kulokho ke sikhangele nje kancinyane amanombolo eCovid-19. Siyabona uhulumende ukuthi kuze kube lamhlanje abantu asebemukele umjovo ke weCovid-19 bayidlula kancane izigidi ke ezine 4 million badlalela khonapho. Njalo uyakhuthaza abantu ukuthi bebhalise ngobuningi babo Ukanti kulokho igciwane leli laqalisayo sokulabantu abadlula inkulungwane ezingamakhulu amabili ku-228,000 asebehlaselwa yileli gciwane, kodwa hayi bakhona-ke abaphephayo kulo abedlula i-215,000, kukanti abedlula-ke inkulungwane ezinhlanu, 5,000 babhubha ngenxa yaleli gciwane. Sithi nje silitshele-ke ukuthi kuhamba njani, kodwa thina namhlanje sigxile kakhulu-ke kuzona ezilazo ezepolitiki. Yebo-ke, ungasixoxela-ke? Sakuchiya-ke kancinyane ezandleni zikaMarvellous.
Aiwa, tinokuchingamidza ine mufaro pano pachirongwa chedu chemadzimai nemusi wechina kudai tichitarisa isu zviri kuitika munyika, tichitanga nezviri kuitika pamusoro penyaya yedenda reCovid-19 iro tiri kunzwa kubazi rezveutano richiti vanhu vari kubatwa neCovid-19 munyika vari kuenda vachiderera zuva nezuva, asi vachitaura zvakare kuti uwandu hwevanhu vari kuendawo vachinobayiwa nhomba dzeCovid-19 vari kuda kuti uti kwirei, nekuti pari zvino vakwanisa ivo kubaya vanhu vanodaudzira 4 million, kunyangwe vakatarisira kuti vabaye vanhu vanosvika 10 million kuitira kuti nyika isvike pavanoti ivo herd immunity. Saka pari zvino tichange zvakare tiri kutarisa zviri kuitika munyaya dzezvematongerwo enyika, tichitarisa nhasi kuti kwanga kuine nomination court uko taona vanhu vanomirira mapato akasiyana-siyana munyika vachienda ivo kunonyoresa. Tikaona zvakare kuti panga paine mapato zvichisanganisira bato idzva rakabva kubato reMDC Alliance rakunzi iro Citizens Coalition for Change. Taonawo vamwe vachange vari kumirira bato irori vachiendawo kunonyoresa, uyezve vachitaurawo zvavachange vari kuitira vanhu kana vachinge vaita sei vachinge vasarudzwa. Saka nhasi zvese zvanga zviri kuitika munyika zvichienderanawo zvakare nekuti vanga vari kupiwa mukana wekuti vaende kunonyoresa mazita avo kuti vazokwanisa kuti vachitanga kunotsvaga rutsigiro. Pane mapato akasiyana-siyana anosanganisira ZANU-PF, MDCT, MDC yavamonzora nemamwewo mapati tichisanganisira zvakare sekutaura kwataita bato idzva ratakaona richiparurwa iro vhiki rino.
Siyabonga-ke Marvellous, asisamboni-ke lapha unkosikazi Holland. I'm not sure whether she dropped or she's having problems. We'll try and put her back, Marvellous, if you can communicate with her. Kusenjalo-ke yes, we are excited to have you in the show. If you can introduce yourself, although you need no introduction, and tell us what how the new name for your party has been received.
Thank you so much, Sithandekile. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, our viewers and listeners, wherever you are. My name is Barbara Gwangwara Tanyanyiwa, the spokesperson of the Assembly of Women of Citizens Coalition for Change, a party led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa, a new baby that was born yesterday. Yes. What I can say, Sithandekile, is that the new party has been well received. It's so, it's so encouraging. We feel rejuvenated. It's like we are new creatures, eh? You know that verse that says the old has passed and the new has come. So this is exactly what has happened to us. It has been well received. And for your own information, it has been well received for people that were not even in our structures. You know, you go on social media, on Twitter, it's yellow all over. You go on Facebook, it's yellow. Instagram is yellow. You go TikTok, you know, everyone is talking about this party. The vendors, you know, they are selling, their bananas are selling like hotcakes because of simply the color. The mangoes, you know, they are selling like hotcakes because of the color. The color yellow has been received very, very, very well. And the citizens are very happy. You know, they are happy again. And they've got hope in that this new party is going to bring hope, is going to bring change to Zimbabwe, because the previous party, the MDC Alliance, it was tainted. I think you know that we had so many breakaways from the original MDC. The MDC that was formed in 1999. There was the breakaway, there was an MDC 99, there was MDCT, there was MDCT Changirai, MDCT Tozani, there was MDC led by Professor Welshman Nube, there was MDC Alliance after coming together, the other parties coming together, and now we heard Dr. Douglas Ngondora saying he's going to use MDC in the by-elections. So we said, no, enough is enough. People have been asking us to change the name. People have been demanding to say, leave this name, is tainted. We know our leader. We know where to vote. We will never get confused. And, you know, the citizens have just proved us wrong to say we were wrong and they were right. Because we can see everyone, you know. I was even talking to my friend who is in Mount Darwin, can you imagine, Sithandekile, and she sent me a picture, a video, you know, this yellow video talking about yellow things. And then I asked her, do you know about this party? Yes. They said, yes, we know about, everyone is talking about this party. People are happy. Just imagine in Mount Darwin, I've forgotten the name of the place where she lives, but it's deep in the rural Mount Darwin. That's where she teaches. And you know, I just said, wow, you know, the citizens are just happy. They know their party, they know their leader, and we are not going to be disappointed. That much we know.
But we also understand from ZEC that there might be voter apathy because few people have registered to vote. There are few new people are registering to vote. Will this excitement transfer to the votes, or people are still being encouraged to go and vote?
You know what, with by-elections, if you look at the history of by-elections, Sithandekile, the by-elections has always been, there's always been voter apathy in the by-elections. So we are not even surprised. Even President Chamisa said the by-elections, they are a starter meal, and the main meal is in 2023. We know that there's going to be voter apathy. But we also know that there are some people that have been motivated that are going to vote. So it might change. The voter apathy might change. Yes, there might be a few people who registered according to ZEC, but that one is a subject for debate because ZEC did it deliberately. The offices where people were registering, you know, there was only one office in each province. So, you know, people had no money to go and register. Like I said before, in Bulawayo, there's only one registration office. And, you know, people that stay in the western areas, they have to commute twice. So it's like it's 4 times. So, you know, only those with money. It's like we are now, the voter registration is now for those people with money. The poor are not able to register, and yet voting is a right, is a constitutional right, it's a fundamental right. Everyone must be able to vote. For one to be able to vote, the process should be free, should be fair, and should be accessible, affordable to everyone, so that we say, we can simply safely say the voting was free and fair, because that's where it starts. You can't start from the voting itself. You start from the pre and then the actual voting and then the post. Then you can then safely say it was free and fair. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And we've also heard ZEC saying they are trying by all means to ensure that many people register to vote. There's still the voter registration, please, that they will start again because they said they've been deterred by the COVID-19. So that's their explanation. They say they are coming. Marvellous.
Aiwa tinobva tauya pano nerufaro timhoresa Senator Sekai Holland tinokuchingamidzai pano pachirongwa chedu.
inindiri as civil society. So Zwamaisapo is very misleading. I'm the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Peace Building Initiative and also of the Zimbabwe Women in Politics and Peace Building. And our position is totally different to what is being said. We really expect Zimbabweans to exercise their freedom of choice in everything they do. But we also hope for a day when Zimbabweans come together around a table to come to an understanding of the kind of political processes that will advance the interest of all Zimbabweans. What I find very sad, especially with the young now, is being embroiled in the history of mudslinging, of name calling, and of a politics that is not issue-based. 50 years ago, I would have been a youth as well. All the struggles then were about issues that affected the oppressed. We built a lot of institutional support locally, regionally, and internationally. The tragedy is that none of that is being used to build forward in Zimbabwe. I don't know where the culture comes from, where however you articulate an issue that is important, especially to women, nobody hears you. I don't know where the basis of personality politics comes from. Even the issue that Barbara is talking about, color. This morning I got up, it's Australia Day, 26th of January, and I wore these clothes to just celebrate because it's a holiday. My husband is Australian. And also, 58 years ago, on the 26th of January, I landed in Australia. And so it's a big day to celebrate. So I don't expect people to see the colors I've worn as an identity for support for any political party, because we wish all Zimbabweans well, that the political choices they make are ones that are issue-based and that takes the country forward.
So in your observation, who should be starting this dialogue of trying to put people together, and also like what you said, that it's a bit toxic when it comes to politics at the moment?
It's not a bit toxic. It's very toxic. It's demoralizing. It's extremely undignifying. It's undignified. The discussions on where we should go have always been there. That's why I left politics altogether when I turned 75. 4 years ago, I left because I realized that it was best to go out and draw back onto the past of the things we had built and get our people moving forward together and understand that the issue is one of poverty, of access to material benefits, and that we had to put in place those mechanisms, and that we have to have solution-based conversations which are evidence-based, and that as women, elderly women, we should lead in forcing our society to understand that respect, restoration of dignity, aspects which were lost to Black people everywhere, with the slave trade, colonialism, which came from Berlin Conference, independence movements, where people really brought the issues to the fore. The Liberation War was about issues, they were brought to the fore. But when we came home, a lot of interference, which once again put us back onto a collision course. The discussions on how we come together is what we are engaged with as the Zimbabwe Peace Building Initiative and as the Zimbabwe women in politics and peace building. COVID has really deprived us because as our organizations, we have lost 9 key people from COVID. And so what we realized was that instead of getting depressed and demoralized, we had to use the African methodology. When there's a death, before you all disperse, you are told you are going to report these issues to the mother, if it's a mother who died. They are replaced immediately. If it's a father, if it's, we've done that. And so what we have found is that people are already working very closely together in all the programs, in spite of pandemic. So I personally would like to just give a very simple method to all the political parties, be they ruling party, be they opposition parties, be they anything, that Zimbabwe comes first. We all love Zimbabwe deeply, and we must once again come together as we did during the Liberation War, as the nationalists did before they directed the war, that the situation in Africa, the situation of African people in Africa and in the diaspora is one where we need to come together.
Yes.
And the youth...
Let's pause a question there. How is this possible since each political party wants to lead and be on the forefront?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Every time I come to a crisis, I think what happens in the traditional environment, how do people come together? It's based on 3 stages to reach reconciliation and then binding together and moving forward. First of all, there is the truth stage, which prepares you for understanding how to address the issues that are pulling you apart. The Shonas say, Ngozi inoribka. Once you understand what the problems are and the dynamics, you address the injustice. There's a 3rd stage, forgiveness. If you cannot find forgiveness in your heart, you can never have reconciliation. And so I really want people to understand that people like ourselves who come from the struggle, I'll be 80 this year in December. My age group, we know that fighting verbally, fighting physically does not get us anywhere. At every point, we must go back and see where we have common interests, and we take things from there to build an NGO, to build any project which brings us together to find common ground. So the political party process is a Eurocentric one. It's not indigenous to Africans. We use consensus building, we use agreement, and we use very strict values and principles of Ubuntu. Everybody knows what that's about. It's about the language you use. It's about showing respect to others. It's about really understanding that you depend on one another for survival. So I think that's your answer, that each political party wants to lead. Who says that? Every person in the society has a talent, and a brilliant one, that if united with the others, depending on where you are across all divides, you actually yield more results. That's what I've found in my life.
Yes, siyabonga ke. Ke sibuyeleni ke kulimi lwesintu, sizathi sesibuyela ke futhi kunkosikazi Sekai Holland. Yes, sesibuya kuwe njalo nkosazana Barbara Tanyanyiwa. Ungasitshela ukuthi sesikhangela phambili. Kuyini ke ibandla lakhe selikukhangelele kulandela ukuthi abantu ungakhuluma, uyangizwa?
Angizwange
Yeah,
ubreakile.
oye ungasichasela ukuthi sesibona ukuthi isidlulile i-nomination court, abantu sebebhalisile sebelungela ukwenza ama-by-elections. Ayisiwo wodwa kuyeza futhi ukhetho oluzayo lukhulu ngo-2023. Ungathi ibandla lakho kuyineli kukhangeleleyo, bakhankasa abantu kuhle, abesifazana labesilisa, konke ukuhamba kuhle.
Yes, thank you so much Sithandekile. Ngingakaphendula umbuzo lo, nxa ngizwisise umama ngimzwisise kuhle, I think kabambisanga indaba kade ngikhuluma ngayo ngekhala. Angizaye ngithi umuntu wonke ogqoke yellow uthi ukuthi urespondile to our call. No. Abantu abagqoke yellow bazigqokela yellow, it's a common color. Mina bengisitsho ukuthi i-response esithola from individuals, abantu bezikhulumela, abantu bezi-expressela, umuntu ezigqokele yellow ekhuluma ukuthi yena sengenile ku-CCC, not ukuthi okucabangela hashi figures. We are talking about statistics, we are talking about i-data ebambekayo, not ukucabangela ukuthi ngabona umuntu esigqokile yellow sensithi ngowethu. Hayi ayisikwadingi ukuthi sesibuya kumbuzo wakho.
Ngithemba uzwisisile, ngibone enxe kusikhathi. Ungaqhubeka.
Yes, ngiyakuzwisisa. I know we respect abantu abazigqokela into zabo. We are not like fools ukuthi singaphonga ukuthi wonke umuntu ugqoka into eyellow sengowethu. Hayi, we are talking about figures and data, into ezibambekayo, statistics. So bengisithi umbuzo wakho obuzileyo Sithandekile, thina njengebandla elitsha sikhangelele ukuthi i-by-election leyi abantu yibo abazakhuluma. Abantu bazazikhulumela ngenxa ukuthi ukhetho lolu bekungamelanga sibe lwana. Abantu abarekholwayo ngabantu ababekhethwe ngabantu. So abantu bona baza-decide ukuthi bafuna ukubabisela kumbe kabafuna ukubabisela. The citizens are going to decide because the recalls ayengekho ayengekho fair ebantwini ababekhethe abantu labo. So thina sikhangelele ukuthi ama-by-elections lawa aso into esikhangelele kakhulu, into encane le. Thina we are focusing on the bigger picture Sithandekile. Ama-elections ka-2023 wesesiwakhangelele kakhulu. Siwakhangelele njani? Siyakwazi ukuthi kule blitz le ebuyayo sesibuthanisile izinto, ama-flyers, sesibuthanisile ama-materials esifuna ukuwasebenzisa. Amanye abantu sebebuye forward bathi bafuna ukuncedisa abantu abafuna ukuthatha izithupha, abantu abafuna ukwenzani. Kulabantu abaningi asebebuyile abavele endaweni ezitshiyeneyo abafuna ukuncedisa, asebebona ihope, abantu ababesitshela ukuthi shiyanani lebizo leli. So abantu abaningi bathabe kakhulu ukuthi at least now we are moving, sesiya phambili. So kukhanya kathesi ukuthi siyanga bekungakhanyi. So thina sibona ukuthi u-2023 amavote esizawazuza azaba maningi ukudlula amavote esiwazuza ngo-2018 Sithandekile.
Kuyezwakala. Ungasichasela ke ngesindebele laphana ke silona udaba lethu lomqoko lokuthi abantu bemukele njani umbala lo olithanga oyebandla lakho kanye lebizo elitsha. Ungasitshela nje ukuthi umomo unjani, sesikhangela emakhaya, sesikhangela emadolobheni.
Ngiyabonga, abantu bayamukele iphathi leyi, bayamukele kakhulu ngobunono obukhulu, abantu bathabile. Lokho ngikutsho Sithandezile, ngibona i-response yabantu, abantu beziletha besithi bona bafuna ukuthi iphathi le iye phambili, besinika lembono. Abanye ngabathi bazasprintela ama-t-shirts, abanye bathi bazasprintela amazambia, abantu bazibuyela kodwa akula muntu ofoswayo. Sibona abantu bejika ama-picture abo, ama-selfie, besithi bona sebengenile kuyelo. Sibona abantu abathengisa emgwaqweni bethengisa. Namhla mbone enye ivideo abantu benikwa amabhanana mahara besithi nansi yellow pindam yellow, abantu bethatha amabhanana. Ngibona izinto ezinengi Sithandekile ezitshengisa ukuthi khona abantu bathabile ngali party into emangalise kakhulu ukuthi bengikhuluma lo munye umngane wami osemandarweni yena onjela ukuthi khona yena abantu bayathaba ngephathi le enja ngimbuza ukuthi ukuzwile sokufikile kudala khona ngapha wathi kudala kufikile abantu bari kufara esithi abantu bayathaba kakhulu so engifuna ukuthi ngikutsho ukuthi Sithandekile thina zange sibe le problem yoku-advertise iphathi le asikaqalisi thina i-marketing ephathi asikayiqalisi thina eziphathi. The citizens have marketed sebemarkethe ibandla labo bodwa thina singakaqalisi but ingikhona sibuya sesiza kuyebantwini kuhle kuhle ukuthi lokho yikho isimbu yethu imi kanje i-t-shirt yethu izabe ikhangeleka kanje lokho sizakwenza so lokho sizakwenza so ingikhona sizabuya njengebandla but engujabulelayo ukuthi abantu sebezi-advertise iphathi yabo akula muntu ongakwaziyo for your own information ku-Twitter Sithandekile uyabona laphana ukuthi bayatshengise izinto ezitrendayo kathesi what's trending on Twitter kathesi ungaze uhambe uyekhangela is yellow is trending and what's trending ku-Twitter the name Chamisa itself is trending lapho asikomanga ngikhuluma into ezikhona ukuthi ungaze uhambe uyevula kathesi iTwitter yakho uzantshela ukuthi Tanyanyiwa ubuqinisile.
Aiwa ngathi mbovunza Sithandekile kuti tombodzokera kwamuri mai Tanyanyiwa tisataenda kuna Senator Holland ndofunga vadropa totaura hedu namai Holland pane zvamataura zvandapanda. Okay ndada kuunzwa kuti vanhu vari kutambira sei zita renyu idzva iri nekuti tiri kuona sekutaura kwamaita kuti riripo pamadandemutande asi vanhu vekumaruva vari kuziva here zviri kuitika uyezve zvichakubatsira here tichiona kuti election iriko gore rinouya uyezve maby-elections ariko mwedzi unouya?
Ndatenda vanhu vari kufara Sithandekile handisandamboona rufaro rwakadaro unoziva kuti for the first time ndaona maZimbabweans achifara all over vanhu vari kufara and kushambadzwa kwepati ndaona kuchiitwa neivo vene vayo macitizens because pati yadzoserwa kuvene vayo pati yadzoserwa kuwaridzi anova ndiwo macitizens saka ndiwo vari kutoita basa rekushambadza pati iyoyo saka isusu tiri kuona kuti vanhu vagashira chino ichi nemaoko mairi zvinova ndo zvichaita kuti maby-elections auri kutaura nezvayo tiri kuziva kuti ariko muna machi takagadzirira tapedza process yemanominations vanhu vari kuda kuzopinda muground vanhu vari kuziva vatungamiriri vavo vanhu vari kuziva ma-MPs avo akarekorwa vanhu vari kuziva ma-councillors avo akarekorwa ndinova kuti tizodzoka panapa after 26 Sithandekile kana ndaandichinyepa kuti tapa makazodai izvi ndiri kutaura ndakarevesa kuti vanhu vachadzosera vanhu vavo vakadzingwa zvisipo pamutemo kana ndichiti pamutemo ndiri kutaura kuti public opinion makoti ndezvimwe but public vanhu vakasarudzwa nevanhu vanobviswa nevanhu havabviswi nemakoti so muchaona ma-MPs nema-councillors akadzingwa nekoti achidzoserwa nevanhu touya zvakare kuna 2023 inguva yakarebesa stereki Sithandekile tine almost a year ndikakuudza kuti 2018 tanga tiine I think about 5 months pakafa President Morgan Tsvangirai, may his soul rest in peace. Hatina kumbowana time yakareba yekucampaign kana kuti yekuadvertiser candidate yedu inova ndiyo President Nelson Chamisa asi tarisawo zvakaitika so ezvinezvi tiri kuti isusu titori nenguva yakawandisa gore kwatiri is just too much and even ma-resources hatina chinhu harvest house yakatorwa mari yakatorwa zvese zvakatorwa hatina chinhu but ndikakuudza zviri kuitwa newanhu I'm involved in so many projects Sithandekile dziri kuitwa newanhu vanhu vari kubvisa mari vanhu vari kubvisa mari dzemaby-elections kune imwe team iri kubvisa dzemaby-elections kune imwe team iri kubvisa zva 2023 ma-fundraising ya 2023 yakasotanga kare So in terms of financing the party, vanhu vachafinansa party yavo regardless yekuti isusu hatina chinhu, mari dzedu dzakatorwa. Ende ndosaka makanzwa President Nelson Chamisa nezuro vachiti torai zvese tatakonge, asi hamugoni kutora vanhu. Ende simba revanhu richazobuda pama-by elections nepa 2023. Simba revanhu vachariona Sithandekile.
Tiri ipapo zvakare pane zvamataura muchitimi vanhu venyu vatonyoresa nokuti nhasi taona kwanga kuine manominations munyika yeZimbabwe. Mawanawo pane madzimai vakawanda here vakwanisa kunge vachinyoresa kuti vagopindawo muzvinzvimbo?
Zvaitika nema-by elections aya kwakuchimbodzokera vanhu vakarikolewa. Saka kana paine mudzimai akarikolewa adzokera. So ndozvatakangotarisira kuti hapana zvakawanda zvatakatarisira pama-by elections aya nokuti kuri kungodzoserwa zvakanga zviripo. So there's nothing new zvandingati zvitsva, hapana zvitsva, hapana zvekutaura. Ndosaka President Chamisa wati ma-by elections starter, it's a starter meal, and then 2023 ndo main meal.
Aiwa, chiregai ndiende kuna Mai Holland. Mai Holland, mataura imi pamusoro pezviri kuitika mumabasa amuri kubata panyaya yeCovid-19. Mungatitsananguriro kuti denda iri rakawanikwa iro richikanganisa sei mabasa enyu uyezve muri kuenderera mberi sei? Hatisi kukunzwai zvakanaka, handisi kuziva, ndofunga inetwork. Apo Mai Holland vari kuedza kuti vataure but hatisi kuvanzwa, ndofunga network iri kuti netsei. Taura yenyu. Taura yenyu.
Ndiri kuti Zimbabwe Women in Politics and Peace Building founder director Mrs. Margaret Samriwo, Margaret Zita, who is the founder of Women's Bureau in the 70s, vakashaya in June. And her assistant, who was her deputy, is now the director. This is just one example. Tangatina Professor Hove, who was in charge of our boy child project, partnering the girl child project, vakashaya. Vangavari coordinator ku Department of Peace, Society and Security ku UZ. Takashayirwa nevanhu vaka 9. And zvatakaona ndezvekuti kana mukatarisa kuti kana vanhu vashayikwa mabviriro evanhu vatema muhunhu tinoita sei? Maviga munhu munotounganidzwa as a family, motoudzwa kuti kana vari mai vashaya mai ndaava, kana vari baba ndaava, nyaya dzenyu dzisafamba dzakadai. Every family inoita izvozvo. Ndozvatakaita pamabasa kuti tisaita too much disruption. Zvatakaona zvadaro ndezvokuti paboy child project macandidates edu akaenda kuSADC ku youth leadership model program, vakanowana mukombe ikoko ku Victoria Falls in a SADC meeting. Vakaenda muna September ku AU United Nations meeting, vakatora the 2 top prizes from the Zimbabwe Peace Building Initiative. And leadership training yatiri kuita for the boy child partnering the girl child kuti vaone remangwana kuti they have a common platform where they discuss my ideas avo vari pamwe chete. Zvinondirwadza ini somunhu abva zera ruvengo muvanhu kuti rwakabva kupi, kuti vanhu havachatarisiri kuti munhu adya here uyu, munhu aenda kuchikoro here uyu, munhu uyu ane pokugara here, munhu uyu vabereki vake vashayikwa, chii chaari kuita chatingabatsirana nacho. Mumagariro evanhu vatema zvinhu zvokugadzirisa zvinhu zviripo, mukazvishandisa izvozvo zvinhu zvinoendera mberi. Zvinotinetsa nepolitics dzemuZimbabwe zuva ranhasi ndezvekuti even vechidiki havanzwi kana muchiti mwimwi garai pasi muhwirirane kuti nyaya mupolitics ingafambisa nyika ndeipi, moita zvinhu makabatana. Vanhu havanzwisi izvozvo. nokuti politics ruling party ne-opposition ndedzekueurope. Ikoko havavengani, vanototi opposition is a government in waiting, vanotokoshesa the same values munyika dzavo. Muno pane kusanzwisisa kuti tine history imwe chete, tine nyika imwe chete, tine culture imwe chete, tine language dzakafanana. Tokoshesa zvinhu izvozvo, tozvivaka kuti munhu wese ave neramangwana. Hazvipo zvese izvozvo. So isusu patiri kushanda kuona kuti tinoonesa vechidiki kuti ramangwana ngarive rino unhu hwemunhu, ngarive
Amai Holland,
pamunokuta.
ndombokubata ipapo kuti asi zviri nyore here mumabasa enyu amuri kuita pamunenge muri kushanda nevechidiki, sekutaura kwamaita kuti muri kuona kuti pane ruvengo rwakati wandei nyanya panyaya yezvematongerwo enyika. Zviri nyore here? Munobata mabasa aya sei?
Hamusi kuuya here kuZimbabwe imwi? Mukauya kumba kwedu tinoshanda panze under the tsikiri tree. Vanhu vose from all the political parties vanouya vachidhumana ipapo. Isu tinongoti idyai sadza rezviyo iri, mbora tatora mugarden nenyeve, ngatidyei. And vanhu vanotaura issues dzakavabatanisa as vana vechidiki. Kana vobva ipapo unoona vakuti takuenda kuprogram ye-tree planting in climate change. Unoona vakuita zvinhu together. Iye amaboy child nemagirl child vanobva mumafamilies anobva from totally different political parties. So revolution inofanira kuitika muAfrica yose and muvanhu vatema, kutanga kudanana, kukudzana, kuonesana kuti kusadikanwa kweganda tema zvinobata tese. Isusu zvedu ndezvokuona kuti tinokudza ganda dema and tinotsvaka nzira dzokubatana tivake nyika dzedu neAfrica yedu. And kwatinenge tiri kuEurope kwacho tinenge takabatana kuti maresources anoenda kunokudza vanhu kumaprojects. Ndinoona politics zedu as a disastrous path, nokuti maresources ashandiswa even in these by-elections. Ndinanichiti kuvanhu, munopenga, madya kumba, mune pokurara, pari kunaya, maumbrella aripi. Nokuti chinhu chokutanga, charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. Make sure kuti uchibva uchienda kupolitics ikoko, kumba vanhu vadya, vanhu vane pokurara, vanhu vadzvese. Kana usingarongi wakadaro, dololo. Nokuti kupolitics izvozvo zvawakatarisira hakuna. Politics dzinongobudirira makabatana senyika, muchiita ma-common values as a society. Ndozvandinoziva ini. Ndiri kupindura here kana kuti watonyarara?
Muri kupindura, taida kunyatsokukupai nguva yenyu kuti munyatsotsanangurira, saka tanyatsonzwisisa.
Vanhu NGO, kana uchipinda mu-NGO unosiya bhachi rako rechechi kunze, unosiya bhachi rako repolitics kunze, kuti wakaroorwa kupi, uriani, zvese zvinosara kunze, nokuti zvinokuunza mu-civil society kuwana mararamiro akanaka mumba. Ndo zvatinokoshesa isu. And tinongoda vanhu vechidiki kuti vanzwisise kuti zviri kuitika nhasi vachasara vachigadzirisa. Taenda isu nehistory yedu. So vakawanda vanouya kuzonzwa kuti so apa pakazofamba sei, apa pakazofamba sei, apa pakazo. And it's very, very nice kuona kuti vakuona kuti ramangwana ndivo. Ndo vakutungamiri vamangwana ivavo. So isu tiri kudzidzisa zvinonzi leadership. Tinodzidzisa zvinoita vanhu kuti vaone kuti kuwirirana kunokunda kusawirirana. Isu zvese zviri kuitika izvi, these are natural things. Hativhunduki kana tichiona vanhu vachijamuka vachidai. vachauya vachigara pasi vese nyika yaramba kuti ruvengo rwukure nenzira rwa, because handinzwisisini kuti ruvengo runobva kupi muvanhu, handinzwisisi zera rangu, handinzwisisi.
Aiwa, tinotenda chaizvo. Thank you so much Mai Holland nezvamataura izvozvo. Regai tiende kuna Mai Tanyanyiwa kuti muri kuona sei zviri kutaurwa naMai Holland. Vari kuti ruvengo ndo rwanyanyo tsika madziro munyanya munyaya idzodzi dzezvematongerwo enyika. Mai Tanyanyiwa, taurai.
Yes. Okay, ndiri kuzvinzwa zviri kutaurwa namama, ichokwadi zvekuti unity, but inini chandoda kuti nditaure ndechekuti wataura zvakanaka kuti opposition kunyika dzakabudirira idzi, maopposition anotreatwa semagovernment in waiting, asi tikauya muZimbabwe tinoona kuti opposition party inotreatwa it's like it's a crime kuva bato rinopikisa, ndosaka uri kuona zvinhu zvakawanda zvichiitika kuti, and opposition party yachona iri kunyanyo kuomeserwa ndeinotungamirwa naNelson Chamisa. Mamwe maopposition party tiri kuona kupecha iye akaita press conference yanga yakazara hall kuMcDonald, hapana kana disturbance yakaitwa, asi MDC ichiita primaries vachienda kunoita candidate selection wakavhiringidzwa nemapurisa, of which candidate selection is part of the process yekuti mupinde by election. So these are the issues dzinofanira kunge ndo dzinotanga kuaddresswa idzo, kuti tese tinofanira kunge tiri equal. Ruvengo runoya sei Marvellous, runoya pakuti vanhu vakabatwa zvakasiyana, zvakafanana nemumba, ukabata vana vako zvakasiyana, vana vako vanoguma vakuwengana ivo, kana ukaita mai kana kuti baba ukafevha umwe mwana ukusiya vamwe vana, unozoona kuti vana vaya vanoguma vakuwengana ivo pachavo, kutosvika papoint yekutourayana chaiko zvinoitika mufamily. Kwakuzoti mucommunity mune vanhu vakasiyana siyana vari kubva nzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana, vanotaura ndimi dzakasiyana siyana. Hatigoni kuti zveunity kana government iripo iyi isati yatanga kubata vanhu semabatiro ainofanira kuti iite. Tochibvisa opposition toenda kuma-civil society. Ma-civil society organizations mazhinji chaiko ari kutadza kuita mabasa avo nokuti akangoti apinde ronzi muri kuita zvematongerwo enyika, of which I think kuti government yedu ndo trouble causer. Haugoni kuenda kunotaurirana kunoita unify nemunhu ari kukudzvinyirira. Zvakafanana nemataurirano ekuti hanzi like Holland, wanzi handei tinotaurirana kuPoland, iwewe ndiwe wacho varoda kuyananiswa vachona, ndiwe uri kuvakoka, ndiwe uchaita zvese, ndiwe referee, ndiwe ari kuita mutambi webhora, ndiwe zvese, everything. Ndofunga mama uri kunzwi vanonzwisisa zvandoda kuedza kutaura kana achitaura nyaya yereconciliation, kuti reconciliation inongoitwa nemunhu uye anonzi ari neutral, asingatori maside. But Marvellous, ndangopindura hangu nyaya iyi, inini handina kuziva kuti tichauya tichitaura nyaya dzakati. Pamandi invita mune maareas amandipa ini, saka these things zvinoda munhu uchinyasoziva kuti ndichabvunzwa izvi ndichabvunzwa izvi. Asi apa inini reconciliation ndangopindurawo sekuziva kwangu, madzidziro andakaitawo kuchikoro nemanzwisisiro andakaita nezvandiri kuona zviri kuitika, kuti vamwe vanhu vari kubatwa zvisiri izvo. Handiti nenyaya yekuti vari muopposition, asi tochiona mamwe maopposition ari kuita zvavanoda. Saka tichizoona kuti hurumende iri kutonga iyi yeZANU iri kurwadziwa neopposition, kana kuti bato rinopikisa ravari kuona kuti iri bato iri rinogona kutiburitsa mupawa. Ndiri kudaro sei? Mama wataura zvakanaka kuti vari verusunungu, ndoda kuti wandipindure mama kuti pawakandorwa wanga waine 8 years pawakadzoka kundorwa havana kuwana mukana wekushanda here vana vadiki ava vari kurwa vari kuti tipei mukana vari wrong here nyika inofanira kutongwa nevanhu vakaenda kuhondo badzi here ko kana vanhu vakaenda kuhondo wese wafa nyika ichasara ichitongwa naye ndo tiri kuona dambudziko vari kuita dambudziko rekuti tiri kuita vanhu vakuru vari very selfish not handisi kutaura mama ndiri kutaura vanhu vari mugovernment very selfish indeed vari kufunga kuti Chamisa nebato rake raari kutungamira vari selfish because havana kurwa hondo forgetting kuti pawakapinda pavakarwa hondo pavakazopinda mupower 1980 vanga vari mayouth, most of them they were youth. Vana Joyce Mjuru vanga vari mayouth, vana vice president ava vanga vari mayouth, majority vanga vari mayouth, but ezvinezvi mayouth edu achazopindawo rini even tisingasatauri kuopposition tichida kuenda kuzanu. How many youth are in leadership kumusoro ikoko presidium? How many youths are there? Because tinavo mayouth arimo, vana Fadzai varimo, vana Ostalos varimo, vanogara mustanding committee, vana Cecilia vanogara mustanding, mayouth akazara, vana Morini Makadema unga mayouth akazara mustanding committee. We are leading by example. Kokuzamu pia.
Chirega itipe Mai Holland mukana wokupindura. Taura yenyu Mai Holland.
I think problem iripo Marvellous ndeyekuti kana tichiita maforum aya, there is not enough preparation done between vanhu vainvitiwa. Ini hamuna kundiudza kuti kunenge kune munhu ari kubva kuCCC. I don't mind it muZimbabwe, and however we discuss tinobuda taonesana zvinhu zvakawanda. The armed struggle nenzira yakarwirwa, I've never come back in ndikabata zvinhu zvikuru in post-independent Zimbabwe. Nokuti sutakava from the solidarity movement, which was a very different wing of the support group to the liberation movement. Up to today, vana vatomboziva kuti solidarity movement yakaita zvei. Havazivi? 1, 2. Ndataura zvakanaka kuti we've got a boy child project partnering the girl child project for leadership training, so that vana vanokura vachiziva kuti rudo hunhu ndo zvinhu zvikuru. We are trying to address a gap yatiri kutoona, because I agree kuti pakaita a big error after independence. Kuti isusu vacho vakauya as the solidarity movement, hatina kunyora kuti as my youth, how did we contribute to the armed struggle? Hatisati tazvitaura. Ku Australia, it has come out for the first time, kuti 50 years ago, kwakuna Sekai Holland ku Australia, anga ari ku Aboriginal tent, giving solidarity to the struggle yema first Australians. 50 years later, nokuti kune ma celebrations ikoko. What we are doing ne boy child, ne girl child, tiri kutoita a film, because in 2023, vanhu vachimhanya nema elections, isu we are doing a film on the visit to Australasia, ya Chairman Herbert Chitepo, to a visit which we organized at the invitation of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere to garner support for the liberation war. It was a huge success. People today don't know about that. What the significant gains were at that time. Film irikuitwa by the boy child partnering the girl child. And vari kutoenda ku Bandung, to Cairo, to Ghana, where the leaders Sekai came from. So ndirikuti kuna Tanyanyiwa. I'm not unhappy kuti ndakokwa with you, because we really need to make links across all political divides. Nasi kwabuda a very insulting post kuti using one finger is ISIS, it's Satanism. Ndikati ku vanhu vanyora Kwanai. The Muslims use that same symbol to show the brotherhood among Muslims. So musati matuka vunzai vanhu ve-CCC kuti what does your symbol mean? Isu tiri kwese kubatanidza vanhu. Because when I look at you like iwewe Tanyanyiwa, you remind me of my granddaughters. Vanogara kumbada gogo, vakaenda kuhondo, but they said, yo.
Yeah,
I find it very nice because one day they would wake up and understand. So I like the people like you, but it is a narrow. And it's also all these leaders in all these different parties. They are our product. All of them. Nyahuye Harvest House, they come to us and find out. Hapana any of you who can claim kuti ndezve vanhu when they are united. So I'm everybody. We are grandparents and we love everybody.
I say abonga ke amazwi ka Nkosikazi Sekai Holland isikhathi ke savuma ukuthi siqhubeke sonke isikhathi eside besizathanda ukuthi sikhulume naye futhi isikhathi sonke lesi ngolimi lesindebele njoba lamhla bonke abahlonishwa bethu bazi zombili indimi sishona isindebele basikhulumela ucace okuyikho kuhle kakhulu. Yes, sesibuya
ngiyabonga ukuthi linginqusile and ngihlangane lo Tanyanyiwa. I think it's been a very useful exchange, and I hope that it doesn't end on the program. To me, she displays some qualities of the candidates for the Girl Child Project going forward. Ule uptake, which is very good. Utando, love, rudo, that's what we are about to be reflected by all Zimbabweans to one another.
Yes, siyabonga. Sibonge ke amazwi lawa amahle awuthandana. Yes, sibuya kuwe njalo Nkosikazi Barbara Tanyanyiwa siya phambili ngamalungiselelo okhetho. Ungathi amalunga ebandla akho asebenza kuhle yini? Uhlupho lolano lalokho lukhona lokho lunjalo yini umbesolungcono? Olokuthi njengoba uthe ukhetho olukhulu ngoluka 2023 ayikhona lolo lama by elections kuphela. Bayenelisa ukukhankasa, bayenelisa ukuzuza ama-birth certificate, konke lokho ayalikhala ngakho. Awusezwakali, checka kumbe umyutiwe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nxa sikhangela ekukhankaseni asikaboni ngoba hanti bekusa register namhla bekuyi-nomination code. Sesizabona ke ukuthi kuhamba nje kodwa into engiyaziyo mina ukuthi iZANU-PF ayizange yathanda vele ukuthi ibandla lethu liphume phandle lihlangane labantu. Ingikhona sizabona ukuthi kuzahamba njani. Ngibone abanye besithi khona ama-by elections la azaba le-violence. Thina kasila violence njengebandla le-MDC, kasila zikhali, kasila lutho. Thina esilakho ngabantu kuphela lamampenseli okuyavota. Ukuthi kuyachaywa thina kasikwazi, ukuchayana asikwazi. So sikhanyelele ukuthi kube lokukhankasa okulothando, ukukhankasa okupeaceful, kungabi lokuchaywa kwabantu ngoba kungaba lokuchaywa kwabantu kasoze sithule. Sizaqhubekela phambili siba expose njengoba expose sibayenza khona. Kathese sifuna ukubonga ukuthi uqala kwakusiba le-ZBC yodwa eyayikhipha izinto ezanzakalayo kodwa kathesi uNkulunkulu wasilethela i-technology phela kathesi sokulula. Wonke umuntu useyi-broadcaster, wonke umuntu ngiyakwanisa ukuthi mina ngizishutele ividiyo ngiyijike, ngiyakwanisa ukuthi ngi-interview umuntu ngimjike, ngiyakwanisa ukuthi ngiyenze yonke into. Kathesi kule COVID kodwa nanku Studio 7 sikhona la siyaxoxa even kule COVID. So sizazama ngazo zonke indlela ukuthi sibone ukuthi siyenelisa ukuthi sikhankase. Kodwa njengoba ngitshilo ukuthi uPresident Chamisa uthe ama-by elections kasi wakhangelelanga kangako endithanda ukuthi ngikugcizelele futhi ukuthi kwezinye indawo i-MDC alliance ekaMonzora bayehlulekile ukuthi bafield amanye ama-candidates, so kithi i-walkover, lokho vele i-walkover leyo. So uNkulunkulu ukhona, uNkulunkulu kadakwa, uNkulunkulu kabhebi mbanje, uNkulunkulu ngwethu sonke, uNkulunkulu sithanda sonke. Sikhangelele ukuthi kube lokukhankasa okulokuthula, sikhangelele ukuthi kube lama-elections alokuthula, sikhangelele ukuthi izeki ibe independent, izeki ingayenze ngathiwa khona i-organization kumbe sithi extension eZANU-PF. Izeki must be independent, and izinto ezimele umama uSekai Holland kumele basincedise ama-organizations anjengawabona lawo bamele bakhulume izinto zona lezo ukuthi yikho kwenze ukuthi okubangela ukuthi abantu bagcine bezondana mama khona ukuthi khona omunye umntwana uyafavor izeki emeli be independent. Uyabona kunonziki kurerekera kolunye uhlangothi. Umama uyakwazi engikhuluma ngakho waye ku MDC wangena ku Government of National Unity, uyakwazi engutsho nxa ngisithi izeki kayikho independent, uyakwazi engutsho.
Yes,
yes.
Siyavonga, solo kuvala umlomo sesifike emaphethelweni ohlelo lwethu. Sizanika unkosikazi Holland amazwi okugcina 1 minute. Awukuvalelisa.
Hayi engikutsho ukuthi hayi abantu ekhaya nxa ungumuntu othi uku-opposition ufanele ukuzwisisa ukuthi nxa uyi-government in waiting lawe ufanele ukuzibona njengomuntu olingana lalaba bokuhulumende asomntwana. Kukhona ubuncane bengqondo lapho i-opposition ezinye ezithethisayo abehulumende okufanele ukwenzakala ukuthi abantu bafunde ukuthi bakhulume esintwini njengabantu ngenhlonipho regardless of i-provocation. Into ePollard leli solayo yindlela abayibonayo labo ukuthi ingabambanisa abantu. And thina esikubonayo ukuthi umuntu wonke akatshengise inhlonipho kumuntu wonke. Ihulumende ayikhangelelanga ukuthi kuzaba le one opposition party ezawina over the other. Mina mbona kuyi-divide and rule lokuthi abantu bangabi too excited ngoba izitulo eziningi mbona ngani zizakuya kuZANU-PF anyway ngoba i-opposition is disunited. And abantu abavotayo ku-opposition, it's one group of people. So I really hope we will talk more. Lama party wonke sibonisani unity. Mina ngiyabonga bakithi ukuthi lisinxusile. Tanyanyiwa, good luck. Labantu bakho othi nizawina, but mina engubone kusenzakala lapha angiyiboni opposition sweeper ama seats.
On that note, my Holland, I just wanted to find out, you were saying that your organization, you're also looking for other collaborators. Where can people find you? Where are you? Where can
Okay, we have a new website that is opening in Australia in preparation of our projects for the Chitepo visit in 2023, which will be 50 years since he came in 1973. And at the invitation of the Free Zimbabwe Center, us, at the encouragement of President Mwalimu Nyerere and the Australian government. So it's a big thing we are organizing. And this year, there is a visit from the Australians, my age, who were with us at that time, who welcomed Chairman Chitepo. They are visiting Zimbabwe to prepare for 2023, because 2024 will be the 50th anniversary since the 7th Pan-Africanist Congress, where Chairman Chitepo gave the most brilliant speech about the liberation war, because he was the chairman of all the liberation movements by election. So where do they find us? Kuzabe kule website soon. There will be a website soon, which you can actually switch into. And Tina, we work with everybody. We don't have anybody we exclude. We would like Zimbabweans to learn to talk to one another all the time. Babonisani.
Sesizani bamba umlomo ke lapho ngoba isikhathi sethu sesifike emaphethelweni. Sibonge ke abahlonitshwa bethu ade silabo lapha, unkosikazi Barbara Tanyanyiwa, yena isikhulumeli sogatsha lwabesifazana kubandla ke hayi ngiphose ngathi le MDC Alliance ke ibandla lokuthiwa ke Citizens Coalition for Change, CCC. Marvellous.
Toda kutsendawo amai Sekai Holland vanga vari pano nesu kunge vauya vachitipawo unyanzvi wavo nezviri kuitika munyika. Ini ndini Marvellous Mhlanga Nyahuye ndiri muWashington.
Lami usithandekile Mhlanga nsithi lisale kuhle, sidibaneni njalo ngoLwesine oluzayo.